Hello, I am Jianbing Ma, Executive Managing Editor of Arthroplasty, Robotic, Assisted Surgery, has revolutionized total knee arthroplasty with its precision. But even the best robot relies on the data we feed it. Today, I am presenting a study that asks a critical question. When planning femoral rotation, which anatomical reference is more reliable, the Transepicondylar Axis, TKA, or the Posterior Condylar Axis, PCA? While robots are precise, the identification of anatomical landmarks on the 3D model is still done by humans. As shown in this figure from the study, surgeons must manually select points to define the TKA in blue and the PCA in red. The study aimed to quantify the consistency of these choices between different surgeons. Do different experts pick the same points? To answer this, the researchers analyzed data from 56 patients using the Mako robotic system. Two surgeons independently identified the landmarks for both axes on the same 3D models. The team then calculated the inter-surgeon difference to see which axis showed less variability and thus higher consistency. The results were revealing. As this distribution chart shows, the PCA, represented in red, was significantly more consistent between surgeons. In contrast, the TKA in black showed much higher variability. In fact, over 26% of TKA measurements had a discrepancy greater than 2 degrees between surgeons, compared to only 5% for the PCA. Why is the TKA so difficult? As these examples from the study illustrate, anatomical variations, such as a flat lateral epicondyle or a double-humped medial sulcus, can make identifying the exact points highly subjective. This ambiguity leads to the inconsistency we observed, which can directly affect the rotational alignment of the implant. In conclusion, this study demonstrates that the posterior condylar axis is a significantly more reliable reference for robotic planning. To mitigate the risk of rotational errors, the authors recommend a dual landmark cross-checking strategy, prioritizing the more consistent PCA, but always verifying against the TKA, especially in patients with complex anatomy. On behalf of the journal, I invite you to read the full study in arthroplasty to refine your robotic surgical planning. Thank you for watching.